A marathon, a 26-mile run which pushes athletes to their limits, testing their physical and mental fitness and stamina in a grueling trial of endurance. People often train for weeks and months just for one race, but could you do it without any training? Well, I'm about to find out. For a large part of my life, I've struggled with my weight. Specifically throughout most of my teenage years, I was the fat kid. At 15, I couldn't even run 100 meters without having to stop. Of course, I got bullied a bit, but more than anything, I bullied myself for it. Then, eventually, as I started to grow up into my latter half of my teenage years, I decided I wanted to change that. I started exercising more and lost a load of weight, till February 2019, where I challenged myself to run a half marathon with just 2 weeks' notice. It was tough, the toughest physical challenge I'd ever faced, but I did it. I ran a half marathon without stopping, and ever since that day, I fell in love with the sport of running, and I've had one clear goal in my head: to run a marathon. The plan was simple. I was going to run a 5k loop around my local area, starting at my house, heading towards the village before making a turn back the way I came, heading onto a few dirt tracks before then making my way back to my house again. I'd have to complete this loop just over 8 times, and I could refuel and rehydrate each time I passed my house. Simple, right? What could go wrong? Now I'm aware running a marathon without any actual training isn't really the smartest idea, but as I do run fairly consistently, it should definitely be doable. However, just to be on the safe side, I decided to ask an expert the question on all of our minds. What can I do in this run to, not die and actually complete it?
One would be pacing yourself, get your half marathon time, add 10 minutes to it, and then double that. Another would be the fueling that you take on throughout the marathon. Certain people are different with it. There's loads of different ways you can go around it. You can go around it through drink, gels. Personally, I use gels. Thirdly, it's sort of being in the right headspace. It's different for some people. There's usually a wall around like 18 miles in where you just feel awful. You've got to realise that at that point you've got 8-9 miles almost still to go. So that's possibly one of the hardest parts, would definitely be the headspace thing. Yeah, that's sort of it summed up. If you are going to go do it, good luck.
So with that advice in mind, I set off to Asda and aggressively grabbed the essentials before then prepping my gear and heading to bed for the final time as a non-marathon runner. And so as the sun rose on a cold Cornish morning, it was time for me to run a marathon.
See ya, weirdo!
Bit of an anticlimactic start, not gonna lie. So we're off. Only one AirPod because the other one didn't charge properly, which I mean, it's a great start. Banging playlist ready to go. Basically, I'm pretty calm, I feel like I'm gonna do it. I'll do it, it's fine. I'm trying to make sure I don't go too fast, but it's very easier said than done. And so I was off, not letting the cold air or daunting journey ahead crush my spirits. So we're about 4.5k in. Loving life so far. I keep telling myself that I've already done it and that I'm gonna do it easy because, I'm confident. Whether that's actual confidence or idiocy, we'll soon find out. My poise in the face of pain assisted me to easily fly through the first lap as I took in the picturesque surroundings that I'd become all too familiar with as the day would go on. 8k in, starting to feel a little bit more tough, but we've got ages to go yet. We'll be fine. The pain comes later, lads. However, as I approached the end of lap 2, the realization of what was to come began to set in. 10k complete, a quarter of the way through pretty much. Feeling alright actually, thought it'd be worse. I'm not going to jinx it too much. Come to finish the second lap now. We're alright. I felt worse. Famous last words, I know. Whilst running, it gave me a lot of time alone in my head. And all I kept thinking about was how crazy it was that I was running a marathon. Me! Not even a couple years ago, I doubted myself so much. And the thought of a marathon was so crazy and just weird because it was such like a peak of fitness thing. And I was like, not the peak of fitness. Not that I am now. As the miles went on, I made sure to fuel up and hydrate, and I began to find my stride, powering my way through the miles, making great progress, and in a weird kind of way, I started to enjoy the experience. Halfway. 2 hours 17 for the half marathon, and I'm feeling it now, boys. My fucking legs. It hurts now, but it's fine. I'm just gonna do everything I just did all over again. It'll be fine. But then, fuck, 14.5k to go. The wall has really come down on me now. I feel a bit disappointed that I'm walking, but I knew I'd have to at some point, so it's not over, boys, don't worry, it's not over, but 3 more laps. Jesus, it's hurting. I tried to keep my spirits up and my legs moving, but step after step, things remained just as tough, and I finally hit rock bottom. This sucks. Everything hurts. I managed to keep running for a little bit and then it's just crashed again. Oh, my legs, man. My arse is hurting. Why is my bum hurting? Now, during a run, there's good points and there's bad points. Moments where you end up thinking, why? What's the point? I can stop anytime I want, so why should I keep going? I can end all my issues and pain right now. Just stop running. But you know what? Every time, if you push through the hard points, when you're feeling bad, everything is hurting, and it seems like everything is against you, it gets better. You just have to keep going. Every single time. When you embrace the struggle and keep moving, suddenly you start to feel lighter. The pain in your legs begins to disappear. Every step no longer feels like a mammoth task. It gets better. I'm in Spain without the S, loving life. And then you start to find your stride again. You begin to forget about the tough points, and your goals now seem so much closer than they did before. 2K to go. We can do this, boys. We're gonna do it. We're gonna fucking do it, boys. Final K. Oh, I can't believe it, boys. We're gonna do it. We're gonna fucking do it. We're all capable of incredible things, more than we know. All we have to do is push ourselves, and we can achieve things that we once thought were impossible. This is about running, but it's also not about running.
Well done. Be sharp.